Good morning, traders. Paul here with GammaEdge. Today is February 15th, a Wednesday, hump day. Let's get started. Pause your players here. Read to the very bottom. If you agree with everything here, hit that play button. Summary for today. Short-term model is still in this short-term long state. Started 2 days ago. On the long term, which we infer is a daily or weekly time frame, both the ribbon slopes are negative. We're in day 4 of this. So we've got really something that has to happen here. Although this is a continuation day, we think you can enter longs opportunistically. We also think there is some weakness here, so we just want to be cautious. Yesterday, market breadth, as viewed by our 52-week new high, new low breadth indicator, was stronger than the previous day, and generally that's good. We've had one down day in 2023, so just be aware of that. We are seeing a slight weakening of the SPX PM structure. These are the PM settled instruments, but it's offset by the SPX combo structure. So when we see that, we believe that the institutional traders are positioning for an upside move, and as you'll see, it's really balanced, but the 4150 and the 4200s look to be good short-term upside targets. The right goalpost, which is our plus GEX level, remains at 4200. It's unchanged. 4150 has emerged as a likely twin to this. 43 was where we were looking at yesterday. We saw an explosive growth yesterday in 43 relative to previous days. But what's happening is that the 4150 reality has set in for the bulls, and so now they're really targeting that 4150. Major change here on the left goalpost, the minus GEX level. It's moved up from 3,800 to 4,000. Now, I want everyone to think about this. So GEX is time dependent, and it's also spot price. Spot price is relatively unchanged from where we started yesterday. So a lot of this is just new instruments that are very, very short in time frame that are being added. So when we see a stacking at 4,000 on the negative GEX side, these are puts, and it doesn't matter if they're multi-legged or single-leg speculation. The key takeaway here is that there are a lot of folks gunning for a downside move here, and when you see this move up in a very large manner, it'll be on the last slide of the presentation here. You can see very visibly that the downside speculators are alive and well here. The SPX combo structure is call dominated, despite what we're seeing here at the 4,000 strike on the put side. This is sound for the bulls. There's no question that the delta structures are intact. We're not going to collapse today, just because it's Vixpiration, et cetera, there may be volatility. But we don't anticipate any form of a collapse today just because the structure really isn't going to support it. There's going to have to be a lot of transaction today in order for us to flip to a bearish framework. Lastly here, the 0DTE crowd, want you just to pay attention to the 4150 and the 4075 areas. We think these are the key sides of the bowling alley for today. Week is incredibly weak in terms of expiry. It's hard to project now. Don't torture the data to tell the story you want to hear. So we're not really inferring anything in tomorrow's look ahead, but just play this as opportunistically between the 4075 and the 4150 as you see fit. Taking a look at the market model, we closed higher than the previous day. That is a short-term bullish. It's a continuation off of this. We're in this what we call railroad track up pattern, the second day that you've got here. And this is both of these have got a tag number associated with them. I'm trying to teach you guys how we've back tested this. And so here's the mapping of what those tag levels mean and how you can describe those. And then over here, you can see tag combo 9 and 7. This is just taking 2x bull ETFs and buying on the day that these are present. And you can see it's not the best structure for performance, but it's certainly not bad. It's certainly better than baseline. So just keep that in mind. Very good win rate, higher expectation in terms of average return. So just, think about what this means. If you do get in, you can play the bounces and play them to the upside. Still a positive expectation over a large number of tests in a long time frame. Taking a look at key levels here, no change across the board. So the PM settled here on the left is unchanged. The combo on the right is unchanged. Seeing a little bit of strengthening in the deltas over here on the combo, seeing a little bit of weakening in the PM side. So the balance goes to the AM. Now remember, this is the expiry week, so we're seeing a rollout of those AM settled as they roll out to March and beyond. The expected move, which is the open, high, low, close, conservative value. It's for our premium sellers in the Discord. Guidance is around these two levels. We came down a considerable amount off of yesterday, which was incorporating the CPI number in there. Today, 2% is realistic, and so play accordingly. The PM settled complex, we are knowing the growth of OI, open interest, call open interest here at these higher strikes, the 4,200. I didn't highlight it, but even the 4,150 here is growing. We parked literally at a node last night. I mean, this is just classic gamma delta analysis, and this is why we do what we do, because this is a parking spot. You can see we've got a 0 in deltas and we've got a 0 in gamma. The overnight exposure for the dealers in this particular area was very, very low, and so it's no surprise that they're starting the day here. We try to look ahead with our one-day expiry, etc., to view this. And as I said earlier, the Thursday look ahead is not very clean, so can't really infer anything for where we could end up the end of today. That being said, look at the 4090. We've got a node that's developing there, and then we've got the JPM end of month for March expiry sitting down here at 4065, which, although not liquid, is certainly present and does present an area. But the reason we like this 4090 area, as you can see that there's a potential delta 0 very close to a gamma 0 here, so we could see the same behavior if we see any weakness here. Taking a look at the balance of the week, so the 4 days remaining here, or 3 days remaining. I should have unselected the 21st, but the same thing is more or less the same into Monday of next week. You can see we've got the call open interest dominance here at 4,200. That's a major gamma line. Also, the 4,150 is a major gamma line. 4075 to the downside. 4050 is where we've got a balance of week minus GEX level. So just keep that in mind. We're watchful of this 4110, 4115 area, which has got a double node in it also. So we would not be surprised if we pulled back and parked into this area, as it is representing for the week a very low exposure area. Taking a look at the 0 DTE, I know this will be interest to the 0 DTE crowd. It's going to be hard to push above that 4155, 4160 area. We've got this delta transition in here. You can see that. That being said, we've got some pretty strong gamma levels that are pushing here. If we get caught up above this 4150, we'll probably pull towards this, and if we get above these particular areas, we'll start pushing north here. Not anticipating that, just for a number of reasons that I've talked about. You know, there's some structural weakness on the PM settled complex. Now to the downside, the 4075 zone, we've got, you know, basically a lot to plow through to get down to that zone. We're thinking that that is the low end for the 0 DTE. If we do have any weakness today, we would be looking to close back within transition or on the bottom side of transition, that 4110, 4115 area. And just remember, that's right in this zone where for the week, we would not be surprised if we pulled back into this zone. So just be aware that that area exists, and it is a possibility. We could see a little bit of weakness down into this area, which would be a potential buying opportunity, and we think a push up here could be a potential selling opportunity. The 1 DTE, which is our estimate for tomorrow, again, very, very weak. Hard to infer anything into what's coming off the table tomorrow, so don't torture that data. And just be aware, you know, when we're back and forth like this, it's anyone's guess of what's going to happen tomorrow. So the bottom line is we're presenting this for continuity. You can see some key areas for tomorrow that will have, you know, a major positive gamma range. The 4110 obviously is dominant, and then we don't think the 3990 or the 3970 is anywhere in play, but just are, again, presenting that for completeness. And then here looking at the combo complex, this really looks solid. I know there's a lot of worry out there in the industry and everything, but at the end of the day, this is what really matters, right? This is the combo complex. It's the AM and the PMs combined. When you take a look at the transition zone looks really solid. There's just no other way to describe it. We are a little extended. The rubber band is a little bit above, so again, would not be surprised at all to a slight pullback or even into this range. That 4065 is the JPM end of month March short calls that I talked about. They are coming down. They're being neutralized, and that is of interest. So any weakness that comes down, we could see some additions here as the open interest gets longer, I should say, at this area. And the key takeaway here is that we're seeing the deltas actually become neutralized. So that'll be very, very interesting as we march through time, just to see how people are going to adjust for this. We have this secondary transition. We've been talking about this for a week and a half. It expands, it contracts. We're watchful, we're mindful of it. If we fail this transition, this would become another area to start looking into. Not expecting that, but just be aware of it. And then the 4,000 strike that I talked about. This is a huge growth of this strike in both the delta and the gamma levels, and they're very opposing. So you can, deep in the money calls that are sitting here, of course, are dominating all the air in the room, but then the gamma that is sitting here, the short-term puts that are here are remarkable. And just to visualize that is right here. So here's that 4,000 strike. This has grown a dramatic amount compared to yesterday. We were at 3,800. We were looking at 39 as the potential there, and you can see we just completely jumped and leapfrogged all that, and now the 4,000 strike is just consuming all the oxygen in the room. To the upside, here's that 4,300. We were watching that. They were in close proximity to each other to the existing 4,200 goalpost. That's not the case. What we're seeing are the speculators are getting a little more realistic. The 4150s look to be where they're placing their bets, and we were at whatever it was, 4130 or so at the close yesterday. So this is real, and so we're thinking that as we go through and march through the day, we're going to see more and more of a pull up towards this direction. With the potential of hitting that 4,200 to the downside. The speculators are alive and well. Lines in the sand, 40-30 remains. Anything below that is really, you should be thinking about closing longs and looking at your shorts. The 40-85 zone, which is this line here, enters an area in the transition that is clearly weaker. So we want to be very cognizant of that. So first line in the sand, obviously losing 4,100 like we did yesterday. I think we came down to 40.95. If we pull to 40.85 and don't hold 40.85, and then I'm going to become more bearish and start looking at what my opportunities are to the downside. And then that first stopping line will be 40.30, and if we don't hold 40.30, then it's lights out for the bulls, and the bears are going to take control. So with that, I'll leave you, bid you farewell. If you have any questions, comments, if you like what you see, go to this link right here, GammaEdge.us. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a pricing link. Click it, fill out the blanks, come on in, 14-day free trial, all the tools turned on. Great group of traders, lot to visualize, a lot to learn. But everybody there is willing to help and contribute to your learning experience, which is what we're all about. We're all about education and helping you understand this world of delta and gamma and charm and all that stuff. Follow us on Twitter at GammaEdges with an S, and then here on YouTube, two things. First thing, if you like today's content, let me know immediately by smashing that like button. It gives me immediate feedback that I am providing the content that you find actionable. Then, of course, subscribe, because Michael, Taylor, and myself post videos, and we want you to see what we're seeing and perhaps figure out a way to put this thing called gamma, delta, whatever, all the option Greeks into your trading to become a better trader, better risk management, and come out the other end with a higher profit in your equity. So with that, I bid you farewell. Make it a great hump day, and hope to see you in the Discord. Thanks, everyone.